Hey everybody, and welcome to December's edition of Board Game Buys and Presents, because of course all these games include Christmas gifts as well. Before I get started on all the games I've acquired this month, I just want to give a shout out to Kienda.co.uk, who sponsor the show and are my go-to online retailer in the UK, so be sure to check those out. But I've got a lot of games to go through here of lots of different types, old and new, and let's start with Last Will. So Last Will is one of Vladimir Suchy's earlier games, which, to be honest, this year has been a real kind of breakthrough year for Suchy for me. I played kind of his bigger, more recent titles, and that's really kind of incentivized me to look back at some of his older games. So this one has a really cool theme and a cool idea where I think you start rich and you're trying to blow as much money as you can as quickly as possible by making bad investments, etc. So sounds really fun as a kind of concept. And I've heard the game's good as well. I know it's got quite a good following considering it's an older game. So hopefully this is going to be more good stuff by Suchy. Also, a newer game with Whirling Witchcraft. Now, I will say I don't know too much about this game. A lot of this is based on good reputation and good word of mouth. But this one I think it's a bit different to a lot of games out there where you are these witches, I suppose, and you're making potions and adding things to your cauldron, and then passing that to other players for some reason or another. I don't know the mechanisms of this game, so bear that in mind. But just as a heads up, this game will be coming up for review sooner rather than later. So that is Whirling Witchcraft. Talking of weird games or weird concepts, this one, Curious Cargo, a game I've actually played and briefly covered on Corporate Cardboard. This one is a strictly two-player puzzly abstract style game as you are trying to build up this network of pipes in order to basically spit out these resources, I suppose, onto these vans and then import your opponent's resources by moving these lorries a certain amount of spaces in order to get points. A really brain-burnery game, lots of things conflicting with each other, but for a strictly two-player game, this one has a different feel and it feels quite big, so I'll be sure to review this one pretty soon. That is Curious Cargo. Also got a game purely based on a recommendation from one of my viewers, Sweet Landia. So this one was dirt cheap. I think it only cost me £8. So yeah, very affordable game. So this is a bidding style game, as you have the hand of cards with different numbers on them, ranging from, I think it's 1 to 30 something. And you're basically picking up these different buildings and things and different attractions, all based on this kind of candy sweet theme. And then you're basically trying to score points in different ways. They all kind of combine with each other, get synergies and stuff. And it's pretty simple, quite familiar with its mechanisms. But yeah, that one will be coming up for a more deeper review of. And just an early heads up, it's pretty damn good. And keeping on the new games, this is Hashi, which is one of the newest roll and writes. This one, however, has quite a different feel to a lot of the other roll and writes. You can't really see from the box here, but you have this kind of little map of islands. You're trying to build up these bridges and put numbers on those bridges. It's actually a flip and write, so not a roll and write. And a lot of things you do will kind of cut things off and make it very difficult for yourself as the game goes on. So very puzzly, quite restrictive, but it's different. So that is Hashi. Also, a game I've been after for a long time. This is the newest printing of Vabank, an older Leo Calvini game. This one is a bidding, bluffing style game, as you have this, basically this almost like a rondelle of different bidding tables or gambling tables. And then as the game goes on, you're going to be putting money on these tables. And then you're going to move a certain amount of spaces, and you can basically trap other players to steal their money from them. You can double the value of those tables, or you can just use a bluffing card. And you're just trying to get as much money as you can. It feels like a Leo Calvini game, very simple, very elegant and streamlined, and very happy to finally get this one in my collection because it's been out of print for a long time. So very happy this one's been reprinted. Also, 2021 game with Game of Thrones Betwixt. This one has come out with pretty, no hype whatsoever. This one actually uses the the between two cities mechanism, where you're working with the people to your left and right, except in this one you are acquiring the different characters from the Song of Ice and Fire book series, and then they all do different things, lots of variability in this one, and you're just trying to keep you as balanced as possible, because your lowest of the two scores is your final score. So yeah, a bit of bidding, a bit of card play, and of course that between two cities mechanism, which is quite different and not used very often. So that is a Game of Thrones Betwixt. Speaking of obscure, we have Flea Market. So this is an older game, actually another Leo Colvini game. So this one you are actually basically acquiring these different bits of junk, I suppose, and you're rolling dice, and then you are either kind of gaining the money based on what other people are willing to buy it off you, or just gaining the resources and actually bidding for them. So it's kind of a cash flow style game. You're trying to get as much money as you can. A lot of luck in this one, but sometimes that's not a bad thing for a 20-minute game. So that is Flea Market. Something that I'm sure not a lot of people are wanting to see a review of, but I might do it anyway. Also, a 2021 game with Mantis Falls. So I actually had this one for a few weeks now, still yet to play it. This one is I think it's a social deduction game, but only for 2 to 3 players, which is different in itself. I don't know how the game works. I've heard it's good. This was a Kickstarter backed by my brother, so I don't really know too much about it. But 2 to 3 players social deduction, definitely going to pique my interest at least, and hopefully it's going to be good. Also, more obscure game here with Hounded. This is a strictly 2-player, almost, or it looks more kind of abstract, asymmetrical, as one person's this kind of hunter with his hunting dogs, and the other person's the fox, and you're trying to move around and trap each other, I suppose. So that is Hounded. Also, a newer Kickstarter fulfillment with Lost Kingdoms, Pangea in Pieces. I believe this one is more of a tile placement style game. Again, don't know much about the mechanism, so I haven't even read the rules or anything. But just as a heads up, that one is coming up for review as well. Again, not heard too much buzz about that one, but looks very pretty, and I like dinosaurs. More bigger titles now with Corrosion. So Corrosion, a game that's really piqued my interest. I've heard mixed things about it. I've heard it might go on a bit too long, which is normally a bit of a death knell for me personally. But I know the focus on this game, is engine building. Engine building, normally my forte. I kind of love a degree of engine building in most of my games. So hopefully Corrosion uses it well and uses it in a different way. Again, I haven't read the rules, as you can see it's still in shrink here. But a brand new game, and who knows, hopefully it's going to be good, because I was really looking forward to this one. The idea of building an engine, but some things corrode and will kind of depreciate very shortly, and you have to replace it with new things. So that is Corrosion. Also, we have Mafia Zoo here. I will be honest, the only reason I picked this one up was based on the designer, Rudiger Dorn. Rudiger Dorn's got such a good standing for me, where if I find a game with his name on it, I'm at least going to try it. This one has this kind of anthropomorphic mafia theme to it, which looks quite cool. And it's a kind of a bigger, grander area control style game. But it only takes 60 minutes, so this one could be a bit of a gem and something that's been overlooked, but looks pretty, and normally, well, almost definitely with Rudiger Dorn, at least it's going to be a solid gaming design, so hopefully, again, it's going to be good. Also, we have a 2021 game, at least in the in English. This is Picture Perfect, a game that got a bit of a moderate amount of praise or amount of hype this year. This is a strange, almost deduction, puzzly style game, as you're trying to arrange all these different family members, which are these standees, into a certain lineup, because all these different people have different needs and wants. Like, for example, this lady might say, I want to stand next to him, and he might say, I don't want to stand anywhere near him, and stuff like that. So you've got to all puzzle this stuff around, get the ideal family photo, and at least as an original concept, that's pretty fascinating. So hopefully the game matches the innovativeness and the fun factor of the actual idea and premise of it, because I love it when games try something different and something new, and Picture Perfect has certainly attempted that, so hopefully the game lives up to that. Also, an older game here with The Rise of Augustus. This one often described as Gamers Bingo, and that's pretty much what it is, to be honest. A 30-minute simple family weight game, as you are trying to fulfill these different cards here, these contracts basically, but you're drawing tokens from this bag and then placing your little kind of centurions and soldiers on the cards, and when you complete them you're going to get points and maybe a different kind of set collection bonuses and benefits and stuff to make you more efficient and stronger as the game goes on. Heavy luck factor. I have got this one played, so thoughts to follow soon, so watch this space for Rise of Augustus. Back to smaller games now. This is Coup. Coup, really one of those games that's evaded me. I know it's popular. It seems like everybody's played Coup apart from me. This one is one of the quintessential bluffing style games, as you can kind of claim to be a role and use the powers, but people can call your bluff on that. And you know, if they catch you, you can potentially get eliminated from the game. So I tend to like games like that. I've still yet to find the one that I really enjoy. So hopefully Coup could be that game. Also picked up Kodachi. So Kodachi is a push your luck style game, but mixed with deck building. So yeah, it's quite strange as you are acquiring these different cards and you're trying to basically go higher than these enemies or lower than these enemies, but you have to stick to that by playing these cards and keep pushing your luck, see how many enemies you can overcome. Quite different. So yeah, I've played this quite a few times now, so ready to review it, just need to record that. So expect that one soon. Also, El Caballero. So if you recognise this artwork, it might instantly kind of spring memories of El Grande. Same artwork, same designers. This one is the tile placement version, or I say version, it's pretty much just the same theme and artwork and design, but the mechanisms are completely different as you're building up this almost this land and sea style map, but you're placing these tiles in order to control these regions. And I love this idea of placing these tiles, and no matter which side you're putting your tokens on is going to be your kind of investment in that particular island. And that's something I haven't seen before actually, and really fascinated to see how that works. I know this one shares the kind of initiative order mechanism that is used in El Grande, and I think that's pretty much the extent of it. But normally any game with Wolfgang Kramer's name on it I tend to like, but will I love it as much as El Grande? Probably not, but hopefully it's at least decent. So that is El Caballero. Also picked up Archipelago. This is a game that's fascinated me for a long time. This is it's a tough one to explain actually. It's kind of a semi-cooperative game with hidden objectives and things. I believe you're building out these kind of different islands, kind of leading players astray. You've got this variable time mechanism. I don't know much more about it than that. 2 to 5 players, and apparently the variability is excellent as well. So I'm really intrigued about this one. I know people who like it really like it, but maybe it has some issues. Semi-cooperative games tend to have some problems with them just innately for me, in my experience. But hopefully Archipelago can prove me wrong and say, let's transcend that and be good. So that is Archipelago. Really, kind of one of the top of my to try list, because I think it's going to be interesting at least. So that is Archipelago. And I got a couple of more Grail games here that I've been looking after for a long time. So Peloponnese, very hard to get hold of, at least in the UK. This one is pretty simple, but classic beige Euro, as you're trying to build up your little civilization here, upgrading things, upgrading abilities, building stuff. So I tend to like those style games, and I know this one's quite revered amongst kind of more traditional Euro gamers. So that is Peloponnese. Finally got my hands on a copy of this one, which obviously I'm ecstatic about. On the same kind of theme of older, more traditional Euros, I've got Hamburgum, another game I've been after for a long time. Had to kind of pay a bit extra to get my hands on this one. This one is a Matt Gertz design. So Matt Gertz, I've never not liked a game that he's put out. This one has a rondelle, as you'd expect with Matt Gertz, and it looks like you've got some area control stuff here, but I will say this is almost purely based on reputation and the designer, because I like everything he puts out, and if I can find a game at a good price that's out of print and one I want to try, I will pick it up just on an instinct. So that is Hamburgum. Again, hopefully it's going to live up to that hype. Also, back to new game. So this is brand new. This is Watch, a game with a really interesting theme, actually. So you're basically these. Well, I'll read it here. So it says, as a freshman at a Soviet watch factory, you discover a dark secret that only doing overtime and mastering your skills in smuggling and extracting bribes, you have the chance at being a true hero of Soviet labour amongst your mischievous comrades at this former munitions factory. So this is another Rondel style game as you're kind of taking safe and risky actions, and I think the risky ones are maybe stronger, but every now and then the kind of spies are looking at you if you're on these risky spots and you stand to lose stuff. So it sounds interesting, at least. It says 60-minute game time, a more beige style Euro for a 2021 game, and I don't really hear anybody talking about this one. But as soon as I heard about this game, heard the design, and saw everything about it, this one definitely did pique my interest, and I wanted to try it immediately. So I managed to pick this one up, and this will probably be the next game I learn and try to play. So that is Watch by Daniel Newman. And finally, I haven't got it delivered yet, but I'll just put a picture up. I've managed to get a copy of Hadrian's Wall, which is kind of the grandest roll and write style game to play or to be made to this point. Loads of things going on. You've got your resource management and things, and it's basically a spreadsheet game, which I tend to really enjoy. So yeah, that is, we're very excited to finally get my hands and get Hadrian's Wall to the table. So that basically everything I've picked up this month and been gifted this month. So a ton of games here. It gives you a clue about what to expect on the channel in the upcoming months. So yeah, I got a ton to get through here. So hopefully I'll find the gaming time to do so. But hopefully you've enjoyed this video. And again, it's given you an idea and just a feel of what's to come. So if you have enjoyed the video, please hit like and subscribe to the channel and check out my other videos too. Also be sure to check out keyender.co.uk if you live in the UK. And for everyone else, I'll see you next time on Chairman of the Board. Bye.